Welcome back to Unapologetically Queer, my lovely queers all up in this gig. How are y'all doing? Hope y'all doing well. Whew, sorry I have not been uploading as frequently as I would like to upload, but I did upload 2 videos though, and hopefully y'all watched it. And if not, go watch it. One is really long, but you'll love it because it's hilarious. And it's Chantel. Chantel is always on this channel. Whew. So today I want to talk about, and I need more fun topics because I can't just be talking about the real world, talk about social justice, which that's my life and that's what I love to do. But we need some fun things up in this channel though. We need to pick up the pace, get more subscribers, more visibility. So today's video is going to be about the importance of understanding intersectionality. And if you don't know intersectionality, I will be inputting a definition here. But in my own words, intersectionality is understanding that individuals are not just one whole identity. We encompass a whole bunch of identities. For me, I am male, I am Latino, I am LGBTQ+, I come from working middle class, I'm from a working middle class family. Identities can even be what type of roles you take in your family. I'm the oldest, just stuff like that. I am a feminist, a womanist. That's what I'm talking about. And it's so important and crucial for people of color, especially to understand these aspects when it comes to social justice and it comes to personal identities and powers, different powers based on the identities that we carry. So if you're a person of color, let me give you an example. There are a lot of people who are part of marginalized racial communities who don't accept other marginalized communities. For example, if you're part of the Latinx community, Latino community, or you're part of the African American community, and you do not accept LGBTQ+ people within the Latino or African American community, that's contradictory, to be honest, because if you're someone who's like, oh, I believe in Latino power, I believe in African American power, I believe in providing for those who are marginalized in my group, I need to speak up for the black man, the black woman, the Latino man, Latino woman, the Asian woman, the Asian man, etc. Whatever identity you carry, but you don't acknowledge those who are LGBTQ+ within those racial spheres. So if you have someone who's Latino and who's gay, but you're Latino yourself and you're a straight heterosexual person and you don't want to acknowledge this person, you're continuing a cycle of oppression. You're continuing a cycle of denial of accessibility to love, denial to accessibility for empowerment for those individuals. And why did I say love first? I said love first because that's how we acknowledge people. Okay, through love. We empower people through the love that we give them, through the acknowledgement that we give them, allowing them to know that they are valued, that they are not second-class citizens, that they are not below us or worse than us because of whatever identity they carry. I just think that it's important to understand that if you are part of a community that's already marginalized and you're continuing to marginalize another community that also has individuals that identifies with your group, it's like you're attacking yourself. You're not improving anything. But then it makes me mad when people like to preach that they are social justice activists, and that they acknowledge those people who are marginalized. Oh, I acknowledge that we as Latino people, we as black people, we as Asian people, we as all types of people from different racial and ethnic minorities, we lift and stand up for our racial minorities. But you cannot support a single racial minority individual without acknowledging their other identities, because they carry that as well. You can't tell someone who's LGBT, oh, I just want your LGBT part here. We don't want your Latino part here. We don't want your black part here. No, they can't just shapeshift. They can't just disassociate. They can't just embody who they are. Take away an identity, not be yourself. In this space, we need to, only talk about this issue. But how is this issue also affecting me as a person who connects with this other identity that's being furtherly marginalized by the marginalized individuals? So people who are already oppressing other people of the majority oppressing the minority, oppressing marginalized individuals, and then marginalized individuals oppressing and marginalizing people with double minority or marginalized categories or identities. It's a cycle. That's how it's made. It's made for all of us to be fighting each other and for them to be fine, for the majority groups to be fine. And we know what the majority groups are. White, heterosexual, male, cisgender. Okay? This is a predominantly Christian country. If you carry these identities, you got power. You got some form of power. And this is not to say that there aren't white individuals in poverty, because there is a large population of white individuals in poverty. There's a lot of issues with classism in this country, but we need to acknowledge that people who are marginalized, people who don't have access to things, and this includes our white counterparts as well, that don't have access to things. We need to acknowledge that especially minority, racial, and ethnic groups stop marginalizing individuals because of their sexual orientation, because of their gender identity. And I understand it's hard to grasp information that we're not familiar with. It's hard to understand and interpret things that we don't connect with, things that are different in our mental frames, things that do not seem to play a factor in our lives, because that's what, let's talk for real, sis. That's where it comes from. That's where the ignorant comes from. Oh, this isn't something that's affecting me. Why should I have to talk about it? Let's talk about this thing that's affecting me. Well, I have a friend who is part of the LGBTQ+ and part of, let's say an example, the Black community, but we're not going to acknowledge the LGBTQ+ community because, oh no, we just want you to be Black in this space. But they can't do that because they're a whole person. I can't, like I said before, I can't just be a whole, I can't be a whole floating Latino or a whole floating gay. That's just not how it works in this society. Oh, I didn't think I was going to be ranting for this long, but y'all know what I'm saying. You get where I'm coming from, because it's just so contradicting to understand that. It's contradicting to see how people bring other people down within their same groups just because they have one difference. Makes no sense. And then you got these people who are double minorities, who are being marginalized from the group that they are born into, that they don't have a choice into. People, let's say example, people who are dark skinned, who are born into a community that deprecates them and brings them down because of something that they can't control. They're put in a position where they have to code switch. If you've never heard the term code switch, I will put the definition on here. In my own terms, code switching is going into a space where your minority identity is not acknowledged and it's not safe. So you have to act the part to be safe in that space. Like an LGBTQ+ person going into a heterosexual space, not knowing who is accepting or not accepting of who they are. Having to play that role, that code switch, to be safe. It's a lot of stress and it's a lot to do for one person. Okay? And code switching isn't only for LGBTQ+ people. Code switching could be for any other marginalized population. With the current political climate, we heard about that lawyer in New York. Let's talk. That lawyer in New York. What did he do? Don't speak Spanish here. This is an English-speaking country. This country is not, the national language for this country is not English, people. Learn your history. So now that person has to be super cautious and code switch. Okay? To survive, they gotta learn English. To be in a space, they gotta speak English because this is America. This is America. We need to speak English. Come on, people. This is a land of immigrants. The first language spoken here was not English. Multiple languages were spoken here because multiple people came from different countries, predominantly from Europe. And then we're not going to talk about, but we will touch on it later, on the people who were brought here by force. But that's none of my business. Yes, it is. It's your business. It's my business because it's the nation that we're born into. The nation that we live in it. That nation we live in, that we don't want to acknowledge these people. So realizing that we got a code switch is hard, okay? And code switching can be prejudice towards us too. Code switching can be the most simple. It could be with the most simple thing. It could be with body size too. But I'll end it there. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for, if you've watched the whole thing, for sticking through and trying to understand that we have multiple identities that make who we are. And those identities cannot be disconnected. Every time an LGBT person is told that being who they are is a choice, it's like they're being torn apart into different pieces that they can't seem to put back together because society doesn't allow them to. Imagine being told that your racial identity is overly sensitive and that you need to stop being who you are. Imagine being told to assimilate into a space because your identity isn't valuable enough. That's how LGBTQ plus people feel. That's how marginalized people feel. Just think about that. These are things that we need to have more conversations about. But I'll end it there. Also, if y'all have any LGBTQ plus artists that make music, anything, I want to react to their stuff on here. Because I want to bring light for them. I want to talk about these artists. I want to create more visibility for these people. You know, I'm not the biggest YouTuber, but I feel like even with the small people that follow me, we can make a difference. We can have these conversations and we'll find our way to a bigger crowd. So comment down below, let me know what you think about this video. Comment any people that you want me to listen to that I can react to. And as always, be you, stay true to yourself, and love who you are because no one knows you better than you do. See y'all in the next video.